Hey guys, and welcome to the third stream for creating the game Oblation. Now, if you aren't caught up, Oblation is the new game we're working on at Red Fool Studio. We're collaborating with an author, Seth Witherow, for his new book, Oblation, Prince of Corruption. Now, this game is going to be a top-down style game, very simple, classic, just attacking using some different weapons. Just to catch you up, what we currently have. We have a nice little main menu here. Let's go ahead and navigate to this. Let's start it off. You're going to see a couple of splash images. Credit to the developers, credit to the author. And then we're going to have a nice little opening scene. Now I might adjust this in the future, but so far I do really like it. Shows the title of the game, shows a little scrolling background with different cloud types. Then we have our new game options. We have 3 different save slots, and then of course a quit button. Once we select the new game, eventually I'll add a cutscene in for if it's the first time you start a game. But so far you're placed in this nice little house where you start off in the story. You're a classic top-down style character where you can move up, down, left, and right. You also have different weapons you can use. Our default sword. You can also charge weapons as well. We're going to implement that into this section most likely. And then we also have a bunch of different weapons as well, different potions we can throw eventually, healing staff, hammer, and then a guiding stick. We also then have another section here for different trinkets we're going to collect, which are going to slowly upgrade our character for health, base attack, and then mana. All the way at the end, we have our respawn button, settings button, and then a menu button. Now, some other things we did add to the player in the last section was a shield. So if I go ahead and right click, you'll see this nice shield. My plan is with the shield that once you use it and something comes at you towards whichever direction you're using a shield, you can block it. We also have a dash as well. As you can see, it highlights the character just a little bit, showcasing that we're using the mana that we have saved up to use this little dash attack. But so far, this is what we currently have. Let me know what you think of it currently though. And then go ahead and, we can add more things to it. So far, though, I think it looks pretty good for the most part. Now, if you want to support the development, though, what you can do is go ahead and navigate to wishlist the game. On Steam, it's going to be Oblation. Currently, it's going to look something like this. I am going to upload some new artwork to it to currently match the game. But scroll on down and select wishlist. If you want to go ahead and be part of the development a little more, you can donate to the official page here at redfoolstudio.com/tools and games, and then locate the Oblation game. Once you find the Oblation game, scroll on down and you're going to see what you can do to donate and help us out, such as if you donate any amount, you'll be brought into the email list where you can vote on certain things for the game. And then of course, if you want to go further than that, you can donate 50 or more and then become your very own NPC in the game. So go ahead, there you go, check it out here. Don't forget the wish list. But let's jump into the development. All right, so what do we have here? We have our character. Let's go ahead, and I think what we're gonna do is wrap up the character base functions. So some of the base functions that we have, like I said before, is gonna be our space attack. We can also enter, we can also shield, but now we need to make these things actually maybe do stuff in the game. So, for instance, we probably should complete the different things we can do with our weapons. So currently, we have a sword that we can charge attack. Eventually, I want to add a big slash in it eventually. We can probably do that real quick, and then we'll move on to the other types of weapons. So let's go ahead and let's simply go into that real quick. So let's get out of there. Let's go into the game world here for the player. I'm going to open up the player and let's go ahead, close some things up here. And this is all the stuff we have currently in the player. It's quite a bit. So what I think I'm going to do finally is I'm actually going to select the player and I'm going to make it its own scene so we don't have to do anything in the house anymore. I'm still probably going to mess with it in the house just so we have a nice surrounding around it. But let's go ahead, right click, save branch as scene. And this is a component. And we'll make a new folder for this. We'll just call this player for the player components. And then we'll go ahead and save that. Now the reason we're calling this player start is because in the future, the player is gonna pretty much transform, if that makes sense. So it's gonna transform. Let me throw something in the chat just so you guys know I am listening if you say anything. And if you have any questions though, totally just let me know. Much stuff. There we go. Sweet. Awesome. All right, let's keep going now though. Okay, so we need to do the slashing attack for the player. Now, even before we do that though, we are gonna need our mana. So we're gonna have a little thing on the right of the player that's gonna showcase how much mana we have. And what I'm going to do with the mana is it's basically going to just slowly regenerate over time. So let's go ahead, open up the player scene. All right, let's go ahead and close everything up here. We don't need these open right now. Let's open up. We could put it in the hotbar one, technically, because this is going to be kind of like the base of it, so I might put it in there just to save some space. But we could go ahead and create a new one as well, just to keep things a little more organized. We have the hotbar, we have the bag. Let's just create a new one. Let's go ahead, right click, canvas layer. All right, let's go ahead. Oh, and welcome, Lee Pumpkin. How you doing? What do you think of the game so far? Right now we're making the mana box on the top right, and then we're gonna make it over here. Thank you, I think it looks pretty cool too. If you go back a little bit in the stream, you'll see some more of the stuff we made. Looks pretty cool so far, I think. But right now we're gonna make the mana so we can use charged attacks for the player. So let's go ahead and create this, and I'm gonna call this in-game UI. And then let's go ahead and create a little mana on the top right. We're gonna keep the purple theme because I do like the purple theme. So let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna duplicate one of the boxes we have so we know the color theme is correct. Let's go into hotbar, buttons, slot 1, and I'm just gonna take a slot 1, and then I'm gonna drag and drop it into game UI. And let's close all this up here. All right, so slot 3, we're gonna remove the current script we have for it. And then we're gonna go ahead and readjust the position. It's gonna be somewhere like right here. We're gonna go ahead, zoom in a bit. And we need to make this kind of be a little skinnier but longer because it's gonna showcase the mana. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna shrink it just a bit. Maybe what we could do is just take it here and adjust it. Nope, it's not gonna let me do that. Let's just go down a bit. Let's see how that's gonna look. It might be a little too small. Let me use my move tool. Let's see. I wish this would go away. What is going on here? All right, there we go. So yeah, that's a little small, I think. So we might go a little bigger. We're gonna go about, let's do that. And we can always adjust this later. Doesn't necessarily matter. Let's go ahead and make sure that's the same. How are we looking there? Looks good. Okay, now we just need to extend it. And I'm gonna go ahead, see how that looks. Not sure why my mouse isn't working correctly. It's not letting me move it, very strange. Okay, let's see how that looks. That might be a little long, so maybe a little less will do. Perfect, that's okay for now. Because I do want an image right there, so maybe we'll go a little more. But let's adjust this here. Make sure it's about the same border. Let's see how that looks. Okay, nice. All right. We can also get rid of all this other stuff. We don't need majority of these. Let's get rid of image. We don't need image. We don't even need button, I think, for this. We don't need focus. And we don't need that. We do want to rename this, and I'm just going to call this bar. And let's go ahead. Let's add a sprite 2D. Now we need the image showing off that this is the mana, which we're going to open art. Let's go ahead, locate it somewhere. I think it's going to be under our asset pack, Ninja Adventure Pack. Let's go ahead, find scroll. And then the mana one I'm using is this one here. It says ice scroll, but it does look like magic, so I'm going to keep that. Let's make it a little more clear. Let's adjust it a bit. Let's do like 3. And let's see how that looks. We might adjust it, because I do want it to kind of be the same size as everything in here. So I think I'm just going to match it with it. So let's open up what's in the hotbar. Slot 1. We're using images for the mana bar. Well, no, I'm gonna have an image on the left, and then I'm gonna have a progress bar on the right of it. So basically, this is like the symbol that represents its 4 mana, if that makes sense. You'll see in a second. But let me go ahead though. I want to make sure it's the same size. So that's a 4. Okay. So let's do a 4 for this one. If it's a 4 though, we do need to make sure it fits, because currently that's not going to fit. So we need to adjust this just a bit. We should have done this earlier though. So let's go ahead and we're gonna go here. And let's do like, yeah, let's go like about that much. Let's go up a bit. Just so it's kind of even. Maybe to the right just a little bit. Perfect. Okay, now we can adjust the size. So let's take black box, about the same width, and then move it down to here. We're gonna need that to be pretty much, if it lets me. Come on. There we go. And then for the black one, let's go down just a bit. Let's see how that looks. Looks good. And then we're gonna go ahead a little bit more over here. Let's see how that looks. I think that's okay. We can always adjust it later. And I really wish it would let me move. All right, looks good there. I don't like how short it is though. I still think it's kind of short, but again, we can always adjust it later. That's fine. Yeah, I think that's okay. Hello, Frozen. How are you doing? What do you think of the game so far? We're making an RPG top-down style based on a book. All right, let's add the progress bar though. And let's go ahead, adjust the progress bar. Now, I don't really like using progress bars that much. I don't think it matches the theme of like the pixel that well. But for the most part, you know, it is what it is. Let's go ahead though. I don't want to show the percentage symbol. Let's make sure it fills up a bit. Let's see. All right, value, what is the current value? Max value, min value. Let's put it to 50, I just want to see. Okay. That looks kind of bad. I'm gonna do like a blue, kind of like it, like that, I think will be kind of cool. So let's go ahead. Let's go to, I think it's in theme overrides, styles, yep, background. Oops, that's not the one I wanted to use. There we go. Background will be black. And then let's use the fill let's use the fill to be something like, I think blue would be kind of cool. Like blue, like a darker blue. I don't know. Maybe not, that might clash too much. I want it to be a little brighter. I want it to kind of match that, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and fill it so I can see it a little better. Max val, current val. Keep it at 100 for now. I don't love that. Yeah, I don't love the color of that. It doesn't really match well with the purple. We need a good fill color. What color do you guys think we should use? Maybe like a red? No, red looks like health. We could do that. That would be kind of interesting. But the problem is when it's black, it's just blacked out, which I think will look kind of silly in like in the background of the game, because usually the game isn't going to be this green. This is just to represent it, but we could use the purple as the whole thing. That would be kind of interesting. Huh. I don't hate that. We could try that. I just think it will clash, though, if we do that. I don't like how thick this is, either. I think this looks kind of silly. What if we shrink it? Just a little bit. And then blue. I need a better blue than that. Oh, I'm not even in that color. That's why I'm getting all these funky colors. Yeah, I don't love how that looks. But yeah. It might be okay for now, though, to be honest. I think it would look really cool is if it could have like slots, if that makes sense. Like a slot for each one instead. I would like to do that, I think, in the long run. But for now, I think this will be okay for it. It's not horrible, but it's not great. I think it's okay for now. I think it's a little too big. Maybe too big. I could shrink it just a little bit, but I don't think it will match really well with the blocks down here, if that makes sense. Like we could shrink it a little bit, I think. I think it's a little too big. So if I do 3.5, and then if I shrink the actual thing a bit, like if we go down just a bit to there, and then we shrink the purple to about a pixel below, and then this part here just a bit. I think that's okay. Can't tell if that's thicker. I think it is thicker. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay for now. We can always change it later. Okay, that'll be the mana, and then we need the health on the left. Now the health, I think, is going to be really cool, because we could use like some Triforce looking ones. There's a really cool little pack we can do for that. So let's call this one mana bar. Okay, mana bar. Then we need health bar. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to take that, Control D. Health bar. Okay, nice. And then for the health bar, I'm not actually going to give it a bar because I think that's kind of lame. There's like little Triforce things we can use for it. So let's use those instead. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of these two here. We're going to take health bar, move it over a bit. And let's go ahead, put in the correct ones we want to use, which are going to be, I think, is it other? It should be in UI. Life, here we go. I want to use these ones. I think these ones look really cool. I think that looks really cool. So let's see, and then we just gotta transform. And I think we'll start with maybe like 2 or 3 of them, I think. So we could go ahead, let's go into them here. And what we'll do, let's go to animation. Let's see, I'm gonna make this into 1. There we go, perfect. And then we wanna make sure it's the filled one, which will be that one. Nice. And then we're gonna need, I think 2 or 3 at the beginning. I think probably, let's call this heart 1. We could do heart, oopsie. Heart 2. And then we'll do 3. I think 3 is a lot though, to be honest. I don't know if I love how 3 is. 3 might be a lot. Because eventually I want the player to get more. So I think we'll start with 2, and then eventually we'll unlock 3. Like we'll unlock a piece of each one maybe, or something like that. But so far I think that's pretty good. Okay, sweet. And now we just need this to resemble kind of like the actual value of it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to menu bar, or mana bar, and we're gonna add a script for that. Mana bar script. You know, to make this a little simpler too though, what we could do is have 1 node for all of these, just so we don't have to make multiple scripts, which I might do. So let's take these 2 guys here, put them in here. We'll just call this menu. Yeah, we'll just call this, well, no, we'll call it items. We'll just call it UI, or let's see, game UI. And then we're gonna go ahead, select that, add script. Let's add something in here. Go to scripts, and we're gonna add this. This is a UI option, so let's add that in there. Open that up, hit create. All right, so what we wanna do is we wanna make sure that both these values equal what we have saved in our global script. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna do function underscore process. And within here, we're gonna go ahead and first grab the global variable, which I don't think we created one yet for those. And these stats are not gonna be saved. Anytime you respawn at a spawn point, you will get max values for them. So this is gonna be mana. And then, and we are gonna need a max, we're gonna need a max mana and max hearts currently too. I think those will actually be saved eventually, but for now, we'll just keep it as is. Okay, mana, and then we'll say current health. And we're gonna keep mana as a float. And we're gonna set that to, I think it was 100. Doesn't want mana. Do we already have mana? Oh, we do have mana. We'll just redo them, that's okay. Okay, mana, current health. We'll do current mana also. And then we're gonna do, current health will be an int. And we're gonna set that to, how many hearts do we currently have? We have 6, I think, yeah. 6. Okay, perfect. All right, then we go back to the script we were at. And we're gonna go ahead. What are we gonna do? We are going to take our mana bar and we're gonna equal that. We're gonna equal that to our global dot current mana. don't think I saved. Or did I? And then we're going to do a dot value, I think. There we go. And then we're going to have to do the same thing for the health. So we're going to do current health here. And we're going to take... Well, actually, we're not going to technically need that for the health bar. So the health bar is going to work a little differently. We'll create our own function for that. But the one thing I do want to do with the global current mana is I want it to go up over time. So our player can like run around, regain mana slowly. We might also add like things you can collect to help get your mana to max. But for the most part, I think we'll do it that way. Let me get a piece of code for this though. Let's see. I had a function for this a minute ago. I used to have a function for this. Because we just want it to kind of go up over time. Let's see. We could use a timer for it, technically. But I have an old script we could use that'll make it a little bit better. Let's try this. This should work. I used this before. And it's gonna get max mana. Yep, 100.5. Yep. All right, let's use this. I think this will work good. Now we do need to minus it though. To actually test that we're gonna do this, we do need to lower the mana value down a bit. But again, we wanna always make sure that the value is equaling to the global one. So we should have current mana. That should equal what we currently have. So what we could do is, let's see. Yeah, we wanna do that there, get rid of this here. Current mana equals global. Well, I don't think it's gonna work actually because, no, that's okay. We just need to update it. So anytime we see current mana, we just want to use the global value of it. So let's get rid of that. Get rid of that there. So global dot current mana. And this is gonna be for each one. There we go. And here we go. Perfect. And now that should work with the global script. Nice. All right, let's clean it up a bit. Save what we got there. Now we just need to minus the global mana though. So global current mana, what we want to do is get rid of it when we do a hard hit. But the only thing we have set up for that is the dash. So we can do that actually. So we could go ahead and go back into our player script, which is right here. I have a function for dashing. There we go. And we're just gonna go ahead and put it in here to minus it. And let's just say when we dash, it minus equals, I want it to be a whole number, so let's just do 20. Okay. Let's go back into 2D view. We might need to do this in the other screen. Let's do it over here in game world. Let's see if that works now. It should work technically. Just gonna make sure. Oh, didn't like health. Why did it not like health? Oh, because we didn't reset it. So we need to set it to this, current mana. And then we need current health. Save that, back to 2D view, restart game. Let's see how this works. All right, and we got a dash. There we go, the mana goes, I don't really like it that way though. Well, I guess it's okay. I don't know. Looks a little silly, I think, that way. But we shouldn't be able to use mana once it goes below. So we need to go back to the dash on the player. And we need to say, and if global current mana if global current mana is less than, it needs to be, well, it needs to be greater, equal to or greater than or equal to 20 to be able to use this dash attack. Let's go ahead, try it here. Let's see what happens if we do it this time. All right, so there we go, we got dash. Yep, perfect. So we won't be able to use the dash unless we get to 20, which I think is a little less, to be honest. I think it goes up kind of slow. But I do like limiting it, so you can't just dash the entire way. You can only use it certain times. Because I think in boss battles, we'll have certain boss battles you need to quickly dodge things. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and let's see what else we can do here. So we have that. We have our little mana. Let's see. Yeah, I think 20 is too high. I agree. 20 is definitely too high. I think maybe like 5 would be better. 5 or even 10. Yeah. We probably shouldn't go to negative. We should probably force it to stop at 0. But I think it does do that though. Because I can't even use it. Yeah. But I do agree, 20 is too much. Let's try 10. 10 would probably be better. Oh wait, we're gonna do that in the player script. But eventually though, you are going to unlock more mana, and you're also going to get it to kind of like go faster, if that makes sense. So it's just going to be towards the beginning of the game. But 10 might be better. I might put it to 5. Because let's see if we get to the bottom. One, we can use it like 1,000,000 times. Yeah. That's a little better. Maybe 5. I think 5 would be a little too little. Yeah, like force it to not just to go to 0 if it goes less. But overall, I think it's a little better. True. I thought I am forcing it to go to 0 though. Let me double check that. Oh, you mean this dual roll? Yeah. I think my only worry is that if you just spam hit. I don't want to spam hit. That's my only thing, because currently how it's done And I think I got a glitch too, because right now it's like, you can just hold it down and you can just keep going. I think, see? Which I think that's so silly. There should be a little bit of a wait time before you can do it again. But I get what you're saying. Make it a little less true. Well, we can always change that later though. I'm just glad it's working right now. But I think 5 would be a little better maybe. I don't know. True. Also, we need to force it to wait at least a second before we do another one. Because that looks a little silly if we do it like that. So if we do like a 1 second wait between, that'd be kind of nice. So we go ahead into player. Let's go to, yeah, I don't want to be doing that too fast. So we could say, well, actually, I think there's a better way to do that. No, we'll just say ready to dash again. We'll do a variable for ready to dash. And we're going to do bool, go to false. So I don't just want to hold it down or spam click it the entire time. I want to actually have to remember to click it. So what we'll do is if it dashes, set that to true. And we don't want to dash, so we'll do another one. Ready to dash equals true. Yeah, that's kind of my thing too. I wanted to make this like a Dark Souls game, but almost like a Zelda version of Dark Souls, where it's like very pixely, but has the same type of like attack, dodge, roll, attack, dodge, roll, and just make like the boss battles really crazy. But we'll do that there. Ready to dash, true. We're gonna need a new timer for this. And let's see if I can find this. And I have a timers, hit items, timers, yep. And then we'll do another timer. Ready to dash. Oh, might as well call it timer. Okay, oops, hey, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead, ready to dash timer. Yeah, we could use an animation to do that. I think I am using it, but the problem is it's going so fast that it's doing it. Like if you just click up the enter button a million times, it'll just almost look like it's holding down. So we need to force it to at least have like, a 3 second delay, just so you can't spam it, I think. Plus, this is supposed to be like a simple, easy way to do it. So let me go ahead. And we're gonna set the other one back to false in here. And then what we'll do is once the actual timer ends here, we'll just initiate this one. Do a dot start. Go ahead, save that there. Let's set this one to something real small, like 0.3. Back to game world. Start it up. Let's see how this works. All right, so let's see. Well, now it's not, oh, because I never set it to begin with. That's probably why. Yeah, we need to have that as true starting off. All right, let's try it now. Should be working. Let's see. And yeah, see, it's still going. I think it's too quick. So we need to Make it delay a little bit longer. Oh, I didn't even set one shot either. Let's do 0.4. Let's see how that one works. There we go, much better. See, now I can't just spam it the whole time. I actually have like a little bit of a delay. Not bad. I like it. But I do get what you're saying. Maybe mana isn't the best for like a dash. Maybe we shouldn't even have that. But we can always take it out if we need to. I do like the delay though. I think it's kind of nice. Sweet. So we'll keep that for now. I think that's good. Nice. Okay. So now that we have that working for that, we need to start doing the mana for actually doing the heavy hits, specifically with like the sword. So let's go ahead and go back to the game world. Let's see what we got. So we got player. We need them to have a sword heavy attack. And I really want it to kind of flash when we're doing that, if that makes sense. So basically when we're holding it down for more than like, I don't know, a second and a half or something, it starts to flash, which means we can use like the mana attack. So let's go ahead. Let's figure out where we're gonna put that. We're probably gonna have to put that in the player's script. So we'll probably kick off a timer for our mana. So we're gonna say, let's see. So when we do our charge, specifically when we're in our process function, which I don't think we even started creating our process function yet. I think we've just been doing physics process. So I'm gonna put that underneath physics process. We're gonna do function. We're not gonna use delta, we don't need delta. I think I have a couple of these we need to fix up too. What we're gonna do is we're probably gonna go ahead and do if, let's say, is charging. If that's the case, then we want to initiate the flashing effect, which I don't even think we have that yet, but we can start to add that in, because all I want it to do is basically just flash whatever item we have, like a white, or actually better yet, even the color we're using for the player, because I think the color that we're using for the player is like a kind of like a tinted blue or something. So we could do it for that one. We could go ahead. And now the best way to do this, we want all of the, basically everything to do that flashing color. So my idea is to just use the script to initiate that. So let's see. Yeah, I was doing use a shader, but then I'm gonna have to do that for everything. So I'd rather just modulate, change the color to tint it. I think in the future shaders would be nice, but I've been just using the tint, because what we have currently with the player is it just tints their color a bit, which kind of initiates and shows off that we have certain things on them. So let me go ahead, jump back in there once it lets me. We're like tinting the color of the player a bit. So there we go. See how it like shines the player a bit when we're doing that? I kind of want that same kind of like shine effect of the mana to initiate on the weapon. So when I'm holding down the weapon, it'll flash it that color just a bit to emphasize that we're going to use like some kind of like magic attack or better style of attack with it. So let's do that real quick, and let me see how I think I just did it with, yeah, I just did it with the modulate. So we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to modulate it. But thing is though, I want it to flash though. We need it to flash. So let's see this. Let's do that there. And then where's the original one? It's this one. There we go. All right, so, but we're gonna do this to the, not hit items, we wanna do it specifically to the charged items. So let's go ahead and add our charged items in here. And I know this isn't gonna work. We need to do it another way. I just wanna get it ready. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what we're gonna do. I'm just putting this here for now. I have a piece of code for this. I just want to kind of get it wrapped around my head because I want it to basically flash between these two colors. This is the original color, and then the one above it is the like the blue effect or whatever. And as long as it is charging in effect, and I think we'll say is charging after like I said, like 1 second, then you can start this effect. So if is charging, and we'll just say more than 1 second. And then we're also gonna have a mana thing. And I know this isn't gonna work right now, but I'm just kind of noting it down. And we're gonna get the mana effect, wherever I put the mana effect. Yeah, global current mana. We're gonna get the global current mana. And we wanna make sure global current mana is, I think it will be 20 actually for these. So we'll say greater than or equal to 20. Yes. All right. Yeah, and then once we release it with this thing happening, then we'll go ahead and minus the mana. Let me go ahead, get a piece of code for this. I think I have one that I used to use. See if I can remember how to do this. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. We are going to use delta here. Okay, so we are going to use delta, so we're going to get this back. gonna need a timer for this. Nope. Okay. No, we don't have a flash timer. We need a timer. We got a lot of timers in here. Holy guacamole. Flash timer. Okay. And yep, not a one shot. Yeah, 1 second. That's fine with me. I really don't want to have to grab it like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it like this. Take it. Flash rate. Oh, I don't know. Let's just do 1 second for that. Charged color. I'll do that. And then we'll do this here. Nice. Is flashing on. Is not flashing on. Huh. Okay. Why doesn't it like that? It's capital T. That's why. Alright. Another variable for this guy. Bool equal false. Doesn't like my timer. Can't use a float with a timer. What? Invalid operand's timer and float for assignment operator. What? That doesn't make sense. Oh, well that's why too, because we don't have that. Let me grab you. That'll fix this here. Okay, doesn't like my timer. Why? Why doesn't it like my timer? Interesting. Oh, you know why? I think it's because it's I think it's time left or something. That's what. Or you know what? I think what's going on here is we're not even using a timer. I think we're using just a float value. That's probably why. Yeah. All right. So there we go. Flash timer, float value, boom, boom, boom. I have a feeling that still might not work though. Looks a little sloppy. But we can find out. Flash timer, 1 second. Okay. Let's. Regardless, though, we don't have what I had before. Though we need the if. If global. If is charging, and we'll say global dot current mana. There we go. is greater than or equal to 20. And then we need to realign everything. Let's see how we're looking with that. All right. Now, if we play, we should see it work. Maybe. Let's see, I'm holding it down. It doesn't look like it's changing the color of it. Interesting. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I wonder if it's even getting there though. So, flash timer plus if blah blah blah. If flash timer is greater than or equal to 1. Let me reset it to 0. What are we currently at? We're currently at 0 anyway. Let me see. Well, why did it change everything? That's silly. Should work. Quite silly. Let's see how this works. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, let's see what we got here. I love how it still didn't remember that. Get rid of that. Charge items. All right, there we go. Perfect. That looks like it'll work. Nice. All right, let's try it out. Okay. There we go. It's not, well, it is flashing. It just like doesn't flash very fast, but it's flashing. Look at that. Looks a little better. Wish you could flash it a little bit more. Let's see what something else looks like. Not bad. Yeah, but it could be a little brighter though, I think. We can adjust the color though. We need to speed it up though, because that is way too slow. Let's try that. A little faster would be nice. Not bad. Maybe a little faster. And I don't like how messy that is. All right, let's try it. That's a lot better. There we go. But I don't know if I love the color. I think it's kind of dark. But that might be because we're not playing in an area with color. Because most of the areas are going to have something in it. It's not just going to be a black background. So if I hold like that, that's a little better. A little better. Let's try a bigger weapon. That's pretty good. I don't know why that other one is not that purple though. Because that one is like kind of purple. I don't know. We can make it a little more purple. Let me go to the actual weapon. And let's make it a little visible. So here's a basic sword. If we go to the transform to the, what is it, modulate? Alright, and then I use the raw values because I can get kind of a cooler look. More blue that like a really, there we go. If we could do something like that, that would be kind of cool. So let me try to save those values. Let's go back to the player. But I do like the blue effect though. I think it's still a little too purple. I want more blue. So we need less red. That one's really good. I like that color. Let's save that back to this. Yeah, so you're gonna get support characters. So let me wrap this and I'll show you it in a second. Let me put these down before I forget. This was the first number. And then this was the second. Yeah, so we're gonna have multiple characters. So in the story of the book, you get like a party of people that follow you. So we're gonna have a couple different characters. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna use characters to follow you around. I think they're mostly just gonna be support characters that give you like buffs to your current player. Or I was originally thinking of making them like have characters pop out next to you and fight with you or something. But I just think that would be a little overly complicated for this type of game because it's very simplistic, if that makes sense. So that'll be up for debate. I don't know. Let me know if you have any ideas for other types of how I'm going to have the party with me. Because you're always going to have at least 2 people with you in the game, which I think will be kind of fun. But I don't think they're going to be necessarily following you around. They're more so just going to like jump out and help you now and then. Kind of like in I don't know, like Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, kind of like you can call upon your buddies to help you do things. I think that would be kind of cool for this type of game. But we could make them follow us around too. I'm okay with that if people really want that. Yeah, they are a headache sometimes. There we go. That looks a lot better. Oh, I like that. Because I want it to match the player when they get bright. It's like we got the player, you know, shining a bit. And there we go. I wonder what the player one would look like with the same, kind of like the same one. Let's try a potion now. That's a lot better. There we go. I like that a lot. Perfect. All right, so we got potions. Let's try wand. That's really cool. Nice. I just think the player is not as bright as I would want them to be. So let me try to add the same colors to the player. which is a 4.42. And then a 6.077. This might not be a good idea, but I think it'll be kind of cool. Especially if it matches, because I don't like when I don't match things together. I think it looks kind of odd. Yep, well that's way too bright. That looks ridiculous. Yeah, why is it so different? I don't like that at all. Oh yeah. I'm hoping to get this game done, I think, by hopefully the end of the month. I'm gonna stream like every day, I think, for like 8 hours and try to complete it before the end of the month. Yep, let me see. Next up. Yeah, I was thinking of doing the I used to have it. I had this game made in another version, and the trail effect was kind of cool, so I was thinking of trail. But I do like the shine. I don't hate it. It just doesn't look as natural, I think, unfortunately. What if I go to 3 there? I just want it to be a little brighter. Just a little bit. That's okay. It just looks kind of blue. It's a little bright. Actually, I don't hate that. That looks pretty good. But I love the shine I get for each weapon. I think that's really awesome. What does the blue one look like? Yeah, that looks really cool. I like that a lot. I think we're doing good. Let me make sure I can switch weapons over. One more time with the hammer. That's really cool. I like that a lot. I think it looks really awesome. Nice. We'll keep it. We'll keep it. But now we need to make sure we lose mana when we do a heavy hit. So back to player. So we need to initiate that we're using mana on this. So when we hit, let's say, if charging blah 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 hit is charging and mana is above, and we're gonna say let's say is mana hit, make mana, I can even call it yeah, we'll just call it mana hit for now. Mana hit. So if this all happens, mana hit will equal true. And then we want to reset this to false after we do it. So where's the mega hit? Player hit. Let's see. If mana hit equals true, which we can just do like this, then we're gonna do global dot current mana minus equals 20, and then also reset it to false. And that should now lose mana once we hit. Let's go ahead and see how we do in here. All right, let's see. So if we go outdoor, make a hit, there we go, mana goes down, but I think, I'm gonna make sure we can lose it all. I think we need to use more mana when we do a mega hit, because this is too much. Maybe like 40. Not bad, okay. We can keep it for now though. I'm okay with that. Maybe a little more. I think 20 is too less. I think 30 would be better. 30 would be good. Yep, we'll try 30. Where's my mana hit? There we go, 30. All right, that'll be a little better. Yeah, that's a good chunk. I like getting rid of bigger chunks. You can do a solid 4 before you have to really wait for it to regenerate. Perfect. Nice. Okay. All right, we got the mana able to go down now. Now we really just need... Oh, that is a little funky. I don't actually know if I kind of don't hate that. Interesting. So when shield happens, it should flash instantly. Shield won't use any mana. I don't think shield will use mana. Because I don't think shield will be able to block everything. It can only block projectiles. I think that'd be kind of fair. Alright, so we have shield. I don't know if I like that. It's okay. The shining of the... I want it to flash, I think, instantly. But then again, then I need to have the shield last a little longer. I don't think it lasts long enough. Maybe we need to make the shield last a little bit longer, because then it might flash accordingly. But actually, a shield, it might be using mana. Shield is supposed to use mana. Yeah, it doesn't use mana. Good. I don't think it should ever get to that. Alright, let's go find shield. Where's player? I think you have a timer for that. Shield timer, yeah. 2.6 seconds for shield. Yeah, I don't want it to flash the shield. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't want it to flash for shield. I think that's silly. Shield won't flash. How do we prevent that? Okay, using shield. I think we have a variable for that. Is charging. Ready to dash. What am I doing for shield? Shield is charging. I don't have any. Oh no, we have global variable. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take that. For this. Yeah, we'll say is not. And we'll say if using shield equals false. So I don't want the shield to flash. That's gonna be silly. There we go. But if we use the sword, it flashes perfect. I think it lasts a little too long. I don't know. I think that starts up too fast. I think we need to wait a little bit longer. can I do that with this? Ready to dash is charging. Is charging hit. I guess it's not horrible. Because what if I just hit it instantly? Does it go away? I don't remember. It does. Yeah, that's bad. I don't want that to happen. I want it to basically charge. Yeah, that's not good. Okay. So we want it to force it to charge. So we need the charge to set at after like 1 second of charging. Okay, so we need another variable for that. All right, so we have mana hit. We'll say charged. We could probably just do charged up. Oopsie. All right, charged is charged on. Well, we could kick off the timer and just say ready. Yeah, we could just do that. If charging, start timer. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good way to do it. Ready to hit. Let's say charged hit. Ready. Charged hit ready. And then we're going to go ahead. We're going to jump into this because we have a lot of current situations. Wow, this is a lot of junk. Cool, we have that set, and then we need to go ahead. We need to initiate that when we start it, so we're going to have a timer for that when we use the attack. Pressed attack. Yes, okay, so we're going to go back to player. We're going to go to timers. Charged hit. Timer. It's going to be a one shot. And about 1 second is probably okay. We could maybe do 2 seconds. Let's connect it. And all we're going to do in here is set that to true. And then we're going to reset that to false when we actually hit. So we're going to go over here and set that back to false. And then we're going to initiate that timer on hit. So any timer attacking, charged hit timer. Let's start. Okay. Now, if we go into this, we should see it work. So if I attack like that, no mana goes down, but if I hold it down long enough, it's not, well, it wasn't flashing though. Why did it stop flashing? It does use the mana attack, but it just doesn't flash. Oh, you know why? Because it's doing it over and over again. That's why. This is why. Because I'm setting it immediately to false, and it's looping it in the process function. But we want it to only happen one time. So we're gonna go ahead into the release button, and then we can reset it back to false. So now if we go ahead and try it, it should work. Yep, there we go. And it takes about a second, so 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. So if you want to just use it without it, you can, see? Maybe. Yeah. But if you hold it down for about a second, then you can use your mega hit. There we go. Perfect. That looks awesome. I like it. Let's try a potion now. That was a little quick. You know what? I bet it's actually... Let's see. Nice. Sweet. Okay. Perfect. Looks pretty good. All right. All right, so there we go. So now that we got that done with the mana, we can just start actually using the mana. So we could use it for specifically, maybe like when the player does like throws and stuff. But for the sword, it's gonna be pretty simple. We just want like a big slash attack, if that makes sense. So what we're gonna do is we are going to kind of initiate that depending on what item we're using. So, what's the best way we could do this? We could probably go into the code for player hit, and we could do a simple if, and we could just say like if player is using, let's say like the sword for instance, then we can, if he's using the sword and the mana is a hit mana, then we can do it. So we could go in here and we could just say if, was it global? Yeah, global dot player. No, things like current inventory. Current, oh, it should be item in use actually. Do I have that? Item in use. Current item in use equals basic sword, I think is what it's called. We can double check that. B sword, yep. So we want B sword. If it's B sword, then we want to go ahead and initiate slashing attack, if that makes sense. So we could do like a slash attack, which should look pretty cool. So let's go ahead, and we're going to need a new item for this. We're actually going to need a preload probably. So let's create a new scene for this. And let's see. I think we could just use the animation player. Not an animation player, an animated sprite 2D. And we're gonna make a slash. And I think we have pre-built slashes in here. So let me call this sword slash. And let's save that inside components for player. Let's create a new animation for this. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead now and specifically just have a default one. We don't really want too many here. We want to go ahead and add a specific one from the asset pack we're using. Slash effects. Claw double, I think. Not that one. That one looks weird. Curved. Nope. There's like the X. There we go. This one looks pretty cool. Sweet. All right, now we just need to crop it appropriately. It's just 8 and 8. No, 32 and 32. There we go. So we'll do like a slash. And we want this. So then if we hit play, swing, it'll be like that. We don't want to loop it though. We want it to play and then kind of delete itself, if that makes sense. So let's see what we can do here. All right, let's play this. Yeah, let's do that there. And let's go ahead. Oh, I wish we didn't need like a, man, it's probably best to give it like a timer for it. then we'll just make sure once the animation finishes, then we'll just stop it. So we actually are not going to default it. Again, instead what we're going to do is ready play, and then once it's done, then we'll delete it. That might be the easiest way to do this. So let's add a script, /.gd, and let's go ahead and I feel like we could reuse this though, to be completely honest. We could probably reuse this. So we could just do this one as, we could call it effect maybe? Effect anim for animation. And we want to save this. Components player, yep. Ooh, no, this is a script. We don't want to do that. Player controllers. Yeah, we're probably going to put in player controllers. Cool, okay. Now all I want to do here is I want to do function underscore ready. And we want to play the default one, so we're going to take that right there, dot play, and then set our default. Then in our process function, we don't need all this extra. We just need to get rid of that. Oh, and you know what? I had like lo-fi music I was gonna play, and I never even did that. I'm like, why is it so quiet? Oh, it might be because I'm just not, yeah, it is on, I'm just not listening to it. I think I'm listening to the speaker. Let's see. I think that's it. No. There we go. Yeah, I couldn't hear the music at all the whole time. Could you guys hear the music? All right, let's go ahead and just say if animation finished. Q3. Now this might not work technically because I don't know if it knows what animation's playing. So we'll have to see if that actually works. But it looks pretty cool, and I hope it does work. So back to player. Let's scroll down a bit. We're gonna create another function for this because it's a little sloppy, but for now I just want to make sure it works. So we're gonna go ahead and do effects. I need to put way more comments in here. I'm probably gonna do that after this feature we're working on. I'm probably gonna clean everything up because it just looks so sloppy. Var, and we're gonna do preload, or no, we'll just do sword underscore slash. That is gonna be a type of packed scene. Or better yet, honestly, I think we can just equal it to a preload. And then we're gonna do sword slash dot tscn. Perfect. Okay, take the sword slash, and we're gonna paste that in there. Let's do a dot. We could do dot what? Or no, we're gonna do new var, new effect, equal it to sword slash dot instantiate. Why does it not like this? That's why. All right, next up, we're gonna go ahead. We need to add it as something. We're gonna add it as a sibling to the player. Yeah. Add sibling, new effect. And then we're gonna go ahead. We are going to, what could we do? We're gonna add the position. For now, we'll just leave it as global though, because I just want to make sure it appears. Move global. We'll do no effect. Top global position equals our current global position. And that should work, technically. Now we're gonna need to, of course, change it depending on which direction it's gonna go. Because right now it's just gonna be right on top of the player. We don't want that though, we want to do it on, so let's see. Did not pop up. Why? I think it's instantly deleting it actually. I don't even think it's doing. So let me go back here. I think it's because of this. Let's try that. Unless we're not holding basic sword. I'm pretty sure we're holding basic sword. Yep, there it is. But it's tiny. It's not deleting it. Okay. It does appear. Does it rotate with our player at all? No, it doesn't. Okay, so we are going to need to make that bigger. And we're going to need to see why. Like, we could add a timer, to be honest, to delete it. Which honestly might be the best. Because I think... I think what we could do... Actually, you know what we could do? This is what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to play it here. Then we're going to do an await. And we're going to await. Let's say animation finished. And then we can queue for it. And that should fix my issue without having to add any new nodes. There we go. And it deletes. Perfect. Perfect. Nice. Okay. But it's too small. I think if we match with the player, it's going to be 4. Also, the texture is kind of bad. Perfect. That's really big, though. It's way too big. Let's do 3. What's the default one right now? I think the default one is going up. I'm pretty sure. So if I go like this, yeah, that's a good size though. Yeah, we need to go up a bit. So what we're gonna do is we need to adjust the position. So we'll do our global position. And we'll do plus though, of vector 2. We'll do vector 2 of specifically. For the starting one, it's going to be up. So it's already rotated in the correct direction, but we need it to go up a bit. So we're going to do x of 0, and we'll do, oh, I don't know, 20. We might need to do more than that. We'll have to experiment a bit. Well, wait a minute, I'm going the wrong way. I forgot it's reversed. It's also way too little. -50. Let's try that. Not bad, not bad. I think we could go a little bit more though. 80. Let's try that. Let's try that. That's okay. I don't hate that. That's pretty good. I don't hate that. I think that's pretty good. Is it kind of laggy though? Maybe it's just not like fast enough. I think it's okay. Let me make sure I can't run past him. Yeah, it needs to be a little faster. It's a little better. I think we go a little higher up though. Just a little higher up. 90. Overall though, I think it looks pretty good. That looks great. All right, so now we need one for each side. And to be honest, the best way to do this is probably create its own function. So I don't want to cram it all in this one here. We're gonna say, let's just say, I don't know, sword slash for now. And we're gonna take all that stuff. Put it in here. And then we'll go ahead, give that a little whirl. All right, so that's gonna be, we need to do this depending on which one, basically. So, this is fine if it's above us, which is fine. So if, yeah, we're gonna need like rotation and stuff. Or we'll just do a match, probably. Global direction. I know we have a direction somewhere. Where's direction? Not input vector. Here we go, current direction. Current direction. And we're gonna say up. That's the case. We know that's the distance. And then we know the rotation. So we'll do new effect dot rotation equals whatever it's currently set to. Come on. 0.0. Cool. Okay, we need one for each side now. All right, there we go. So we could do down. All right, that's totally not going to be the right one. So for down, I know it's going to be 0. But what do we want to do? I think it's like 180. Yeah. Okay. 180. And then the right, 90. 90. there has to be 270. Perfect, okay. And now the positioning. So we know top one's fine. Down one though, we need to add it going down a bit. So we're gonna do positive, probably like positive 90, maybe less. This one is gonna stay. We might go down a little bit so it just matches where the blade is. Let's try it though. For the right, we know it needs to move more to the right, so we'll do like 50. And we'll do negative 50 for this one. Then we don't need negative 0. And I think with that should be good. Let's make sure it works. Okay. That's wrong. Ooh, that's really wrong too. Why is it tilted? Why is that one the only one that looks good? Weird. Why? Oh, I think rotation is like... That's really annoying. I think rotation means global rotation. That's why it's being silly. Because it's basing it off the world, not the player. Alright, let's see. Still rotating it super weird. Why? What in the world? What? That one looks fine. The bottom one is being strange. Why? Okay, right down. Down. Global position, global position. What in the world? Why is it not going all the way down? Very strange. So if I go to this, down should be 180. Why is it silly? Weird. Global rotation. Very strange. You know what we could also do maybe though? I wonder if I could just change the offset. That might work better. Yeah, flip V. Can I do that in all of this or not? That's not gonna work. No. I should just be able to rotate. Why can't I rotate it? Why can't I change the rotation? Oh, rotation degrees. I knew it was the wrong one. It's so silly they gotta do it like that. Because you can rotate it like an object. That's why. And of course it doesn't pop up. That's great. It's silly. There we go. Let's try it out. That didn't work at all either. What's going on? That did work. Okay, every single direction is working except for the left. But that's because I think I didn't set it. What if I just do negative 90? That might work. That might work. Why is that one still doing it? What? It doesn't even do it at all. Good, good. It's just this side. Yeah, what? What? Oh, because I never did the left. That's why. It still thinks it's up. Okay, now we should have it all set. Perfect. It's a little too close though. Yeah, we'll make him go a little farther. That one's okay. That one's a little too far, I think. I kind of like that one. That's okay. I think we're going to go down a little bit, but I like this one the best. That's okay. I just want it to... I don't want to walk into it. That's okay. What do you guys think? Do you like this? I think it's a little too slow, though. That one's too high up. That one's good. That one's okay. Maybe a little bit more. Like a 5. I think I'm just being persnickety though at this point. All right, how do we do this? There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Not bad. It's okay. Maybe like a little bit more. I think a little bit farther. We'll just do 90. Because it'll be matching it all the way around pretty much. Nice. And then the dash still looks good. I think I will give it a trail of pixels or something. That'd be kind of cool. But so far that looks nice. 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 Alright, so that's one weapon down pretty much. Now we just gotta do all the potions, the staff, the wand, and the hammer. And then if we want to add the kind of like the little pixel thingies, we could do that. We could do that. That might be kind of nice. Let's add this. Let's do this. I'm doing this for you, Pumpkin, if you're still on the call. Let's see, how are we gonna make this not look dumb? White, I think would be pretty cool. We could keep it as white. We just need it to shoot out differently though. So one. What if we do a rectangle? There we go. I just have no idea how like long the player is. To be honest, I think it'd actually be easier. Let me close that and not save it. If we do it on the player right now, we'll see and be able to measure everything. We'll make it into its own scene eventually, but for now I just want to put it there. I want to do rectangle, make it as long as the player, or somewhat as long. It's a pretty decent amount. Let's do... way too long. Let's do size, scale. Too big. Way too big. Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. 3 and 3. A little bigger. Let's do 4. I don't hate it. I think it's okay. Let's do way too long though. Let's go to like here. So I actually want to shoot out way faster though. Oh, I remember. Speed, we need initial velocity. That's not gonna work. No, not that one. Is it angular velocity? Nope. Where is the one I want to do? Here we go, time. Speed scale. There we go, that's it. Okay, way too fast. Let's do 1. 2. That's pretty good. 2's pretty good. I like 1.5. That's pretty good. Okay, and then lifetime 0.5. It's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. I think that's pretty okay. That's pretty okay. You can always adjust it later. I think this will be fine for now, though. So we're going to make that shoot out once the player has it. Okay. So we got the particles. Now we need to initiate these, just like with the sword when we do the dash. But we need to also rotate it depending on it. So can we rotate it the same way we did it with everything else? Can I rotate it like everything else? No, it's not gonna let me do that. I figured. So we need to rotate it. How can I rotate it? Direction? No. How can I rotate this? I know we can do it somehow. That can work. How do we rotate this guy? Gravity direct. I think it's in direction. No, that's different. I don't think that's the right one. No. It's not right at all. What if I sphere? No. Well, that's not gonna work. I like the rectangle better. Okay, but we need to make this rotate. How do we rotate? I know there's a way we can do this. How do we rotate a CPU particle 2D? Gravity? Can I like reverse the gravity? That's not gonna work. Interesting. You know what we could do actually? I wonder if I could put it inside of a node and then rotate the node 2D with it inside of it. That would be really funny if that works. It totally does not work. It still shoots it downward. That's not good. No, that's not gonna work. Alright, come on. We can do this. I just want to make it shoot to up, down, left, or right. But how do we do that? Scale amount. Damping. Linear, orbital. Ooh. That's a disaster. Don't do that. I know there's a way to do this. I've done this before. No. Angle? Angle might work. Well, angle does work, but it doesn't go the right way though. Not at all. It's like the rotation of it almost with angle. Wow, I cannot figure out how we can do this. Interesting. All right. I don't want it to have gravity though. Maybe we need to turn off gravity for it. Okay, good. But now how do we force it down? Technically that does work. What if I rotate it now? And then go back to 1. Yep, okay, that does work. But it looks silly because it doesn't go 0. We could keep it like that. Okay. Maybe I can angle it a little better. I don't want it to be a cone though. A cone is silly. Oh, I know why it's doing that though. It's coming out of the middle. That's okay, it'll be behind the player anyway, I think. Well, even if it isn't though, we can technically, we can reverse it from like over there. If we go even less. That's not gonna work. How do I do a different point? I want to do rectangle, but I don't want it to do that. Okay, it's popping up like that. We want it to just go up and down. No, I don't want that to happen either. Nope, we're gonna have to deal with what we had. Still want to be so cone shaped. That's really silly. Now how do we adjust it? Decrease, there we go, that's how I can do it, okay. And I need the starting point to be more to the X. Can I not change the offset? That sucks. But that does look better. It's too fast though. 0.7. There we go. Okay. Now I need to start from more to the right. Or we put it behind the player. Easiest way to put it behind the player is put it right there. Easier way to do that is to give it a node 2D. And then we'll do particles. Okay, but I still want it to be more spread, I think. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to do spread. Where was spread? Here it is. I wonder if I could just do this also. Can I just increase the Y value? No, that's why it's going to do that. No. Go back to 0. I just still think it's coming out of 1 point. I don't like that much. I think it's silly. It's a little better. I think that's silly looking. Can I go more of that? because I know what that's doing. I think the rectangle is screwing me up. I think I need to do like points. No. That's even a little better, to be honest. I just wish it would do multiple at the same time. If I do like 20, that's better. I just wish it was more like in a box. I don't like how it's in a box. I might have to keep it in the middle though. I don't love it. I don't love it. I want it to be very square. Very square. What if we redo this? What if we redo it? Because I don't love it. Let's restart everything. Turn the gravity back on. Rectangle back out. That is so good. I wish it would just do that, but in multiple directions. It's going way too fast though. 0.5. I want that, but way too fast. Now, how do we rotate this? We need to rotate this. We could rotate it based on gravity. If I minus that. Okay, not bad. Now I need it to, let's see. So what if we do 0 for that, and then 980 for this? But we're gonna need to adjust it though. So we're gonna need a new 980, and then the rotation, turn it to 90 degrees. Perfect. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, so we need to rotate not only the rotation, but the gravity of it as well. And it should work. Okay, so this is gonna be difficult. First off, we need to create this into its own scene. So we need to reset it first. So 0, and I think it was 0 for this, 980 for that. Okay. All right, next up, we gotta save this as its own scene. Let's just call this dash effects. And we're gonna save that as its own scene. Same thing, yep, keep it in here. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this though. All right, similar to how we did the slash, we are gonna go ahead this time, another @on ready, var dash effects equal preload. Again, we're looking for dash effects scene. All right, we got that down. Now this is tricky because the dash should only happen one time. Okay, I'm gonna run a function for that. Dash effect start. Okay. And then how we're gonna do this is we're gonna go ahead, var new effect equal to dash effects dot instantiate. Then we're going to go ahead. We are going to create it. We're going to add it. Dot add sibling, a child, new effect. Then we need to do the same thing for what we did above, pretty much. So we have to directionally change everything to it. Okay, so if it goes up, we leave everything the same. So we can go ahead and let me open that up too so we know where that is. We want to change the rotation to 0. Yeah. New effect dot degree rotation degrees. .0, and then the gravity, keep it the same. How do we access this? Oh, come on. It's just gravity? I hope it is. Alright. Really? I'm not gonna like that. Oh, that's why. Okay. Now we gotta do the same thing for down. Down is really easy. We just gotta switch around this with the other one. That's a 0 now. And that's that. Now for the right, we do need to change this to 90. And then we do need to change this to 0. Ooh, actually, that was wrong. That is going to be negative, I think. Yes. Now this one is positive, yep. The other one's negative, I think. And then we're going to do that. Yes. When we dash. Okay, so we go back to player. This should work. I have a feeling we can't change gravity like we did before, though. Kind of works. What is going on? That is so strange. What are they all? Actually, I think it is working though. That looks awesome. Alright, we need to make them destroy them because they should not be active that long. Dash effects. We need to give that a script. Inside player scripts, I think. Alright. Let's see. Alright, let's do a timer for this. And let's go ahead. 0.3, I think is what it is. 0.3, and then when that goes up, let's do a Q free. Nice. Okay, I like it. Okay, let's go back to player. See how that looks. Did not disappear because we never started it. There we go. Let's try this now. Better. I don't hate it. It's not really centered though, unfortunately. Yeah, not really centered. It's also lasting too long, I think. I don't know if I like how it makes the player change colors. I think it's kind of silly. Maybe we won't do that. Let's actually think about that. Huh, let's see. If we just kind of remove that. But also, why is this not centering it correctly? It's very strange. What is the problem here? It's centered here, but it's not centering on the player. Is that's why? Because that's on the left. We need to center that. Perfect. Now let's see how it looks. Better, I like it. I don't know why the down and up has so much more though. That's a little weird to me. I think it's a little, yeah, on the sides it's not doing it very much. But it is doing it a lot the other way around. Yeah, it's like way too much when it's on, but the sides are way too little though. I think they need to like shoot out more. Huh. Weird. How do we make them shoot out more? Did I like change the... No, I didn't change anything there. Interesting. Why is it not as powerful? Maybe I need to bump up the gravity for the right and left. What if I do like 1100 for each? A little better. It's still strangely not going down. Like, look at that. What in the world? That is so much more. It is not coming out that bad. What is going on here? This is just way too much. 500, 500. A little better. A little better. These side ones are really bad though. I don't know why they're not going out. And they're not like, I think they're just too big too. I think we need to shrink them a bit. Let's shrink it just a little bit. Better. A little better. I just think that it's just shooting out so many when it goes up and down. It looks ridiculous. And it's like barely shooting out any. Why is it doing that? When I go left and right, it's really not doing anything. They almost look like they're staying still. But when I go up and down, it's like perfect. Almost too perfect. Very weird. So, we have the gravity. This isn't even working. Why is it not even changing it? What if we just increase this like crazy? And then decrease it like crazy? Nothing. It doesn't even do anything. Why is it doing it? It's almost like it's doing it with this. What in the world? Is it reversed? Am I up, down? What? That is so weird. So if I change this back to 980 like it was, and then these ones as well, let's try this out. Nothing. Not really a big difference. Very strange it's not just doing that. What if I hold off on this? I really want to see what it's doing. That's why. I think it's reversed. I think that's the issue. I think it's reversed. because I'm moving and it's like going backwards. So let me try this. Because that doesn't make sense. That's much better. I knew that was going to work. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. Save that change. There we go. Now this should now kind of work a little better. And now we can change back the gravity to make it go farther faster. Then we're gonna have to go down a little bit for each one. So that's down, that's too much. Too much. Just a little bit less. Or we could just make the time go slower. So if I go up here, the time, shrink that to 4 seconds. Back to where you start. All right, let's figure this out. No, not that better. It's okay. I think it's too small though. I think it could be a little bigger, to be honest. And then what we're gonna do is it's going too fast. Again. Let's do 0.2 seconds. This should work. Look better, a little better. Well, that didn't look good. That looks a little awkward though. I think there's too many shooting out now at this point. Let's do 15. I think it'd be really cool to have some like footprints or something. How does that look? You guys like it? I still think it's a little aggressive. I still think it's too many. Let's try 10. All right. I still think that's too many. I don't know. I don't hate that, actually. I think we're getting closer. Let's do 8. I think it's going out too fast. We can lower the gravity for that. Let's do 100 less. Actually, let's do 200 less. Let's try that. That's a little better. I actually do like that a lot. That's really good. But the big question is, do we want the character to flash a color when he's dashing? That's good. I like that a lot. That actually looks really good. Okay, that was good. Nice. Added the trail. Did I spell trail wrong? Alright, trails added though. That looks great. I like that better than the color though, to be honest. I think that looks good. Nice. Sweet. Okay, so we added quite a bit. We added the slash, we added the power hits, we added the mana. We're gonna need to add the rest of the effects for everything. The stick will be a little tricky because we're gonna add specifically like a helper message, basically. Like a pop-up box will appear and it will tell us a little hint about what we have to do next for it. But then the potions, we want to throw them all. Once we throw them all, they'll burst into an effect. The wand will heal us. And then the rock will do some kind of like, we'll do some smash attack or something where we can break like boulders around us or something. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. Whoops, I don't like that though. The reason why this is above it is because we put that above it. So we want to do that there. Then if we go ahead in there, we will go ahead and we will see that if we click it, it'll be behind it now. Nice. Perfect. All right. All right. I am going to stream probably later tonight though. So again though guys, if you missed it, this is building the game Oblation. Currently we have a couple splash images, we have a starting scene, and now we're just really going over building the character. Now if you want to support the game, please everybody go to the Steam page that's attached. It's going to be Oblation on Steam. It's going to look like something like this. Please go ahead and add to your wish list. And also if you want to be a part of the development a little bit, you can go to our official website, redfoolstudio.com/tools and games, and then locate Oblation info. Scrolling down, you'll see if you can donate any amount, you'll be part of the voting list for the game. And then of course, if you want to be part of the game, as in like an NPC, you can do 50 or higher to be any custom type of NPC. I also teach game development as well, so check out the rest of my channel, and you'll see, of course, a bunch of different courses. My beginner course is 100% free, source code included. Now I'll see you guys next time. Overall though, I think we did some pretty good work.